Okay, for our first category, we're actually choosing not a niche category, but an entire category, which is musical instruments. So let's go ahead and click on that. Now, the reason we're choosing musical instruments is it's a great demonstration of how you can actually get results for various countries if that eBay seller is choosing to, sell in Australia, for instance, or in multiple countries, not just where they're based. So we're going to take a look at those examples. Okay, so let's explain. So we have for a category here, we clicked on musical instruments. It is defaulting here to Australia. However, you can change it to whatever country you would like. Now, if the eBay seller is selling in more than one country, then their results will show up in this search results. So you will see as I go through here. So let's start with this here. So this is we're using this to begin with as well because it's got very cheap items, higher ticket items here, and then more medium priced items in between as well to choose from. So some people like very, very cheap items, especially if they want to import. This item here is coming from China. Very cheap, as you can see. Price has been given in USD and here in AUD. Here it's showing it's sold over 16,000 times. So this isn't just an opportunity for importers. It could also be those who are drop shipping may want to look for a supplier of such an item like this. It could be a good arbitrage. Let's go back to our results. Okay, let's take a look at some others. The second one here is a Rockville mic. It's sold 5,963 times for $66.60. So let's click on that. Now again, this is a US-based eBay seller, as you can see here. However, they're choosing to also sell to Australia. So that's why this data is coming up here. However, people in first world countries do tend to buy the same things. Therefore, what is doing well in the USA and UK, for example, would also stand to do well in Australia and vice versa. So this data is good for those in the States, however, also good for those in other countries to pay attention to as well. Let's go back to our results and look what else we have. So let's have a look. Okay, this is something a little bit higher priced. We have a silver flute with Yamaha pads that sold over 3,000 times for just under $160. If we take a look at that, that's another US-based product. However, again, could be a good arbitrage for those in other countries or a good opportunity for one of our customers in the United States. Again, you can have a look here and click on their sold history to see how many they've sold recently. Okay, let's have a look at this one here. We have an electronic keyboard that is sold 2,549 times for $106.95. Let's click on that listing. Now this is an Aussie seller. It is indeed Oz Plaza. For those in the know, Oz Plaza is actually Dropship Zone. So there's plenty of examples where Oz Plaza is selling. Sorry about that. So that's an easy buy because you can get these items from Dropship Zone. So let's have a look. Let's say they've sold it 2,549 times. So we click on that. We can bring up their purchase history. Here we go. Not only can we bring up their purchase history, however, you can also see with the price if they are trending and any sales on this item, or work out the average that it's sold for. And we can scroll back and get the most recent data on what's sold. This data here is going back 120 days. Okay. So that's a good example of something that's doing really well for Australian sellers. Again, good opportunity for other countries as well to take a look at. Okay, let's just look at one more example of what's doing well in the musical instrument category. Okay, let's take a look at this guitar fret crowning tool that has sold 2,453 times for $55.32. And this is an example of something doing well in the UK. Again, awesome arbitrage opportunity for Aussie sellers, US sellers, Canadian sellers alike. And you can click on their sold history as well. Okay, so that's that for this category. Let's have a look at the next category. Okay, for this final category, we are going to do another home and garden category, and we're going to do a child category that comes under yard, garden, and outdoor living. So we're going to go ahead and type in the category number right away. Okay, so see we've got parent category, home and garden, and then a child category under that, yard, garden, and outdoor living. And then we're going to go and click on this subcategory under this child category, watering equipment. Okay, we'll wait while it brings up the results. Okay, so as you can see here, we have the category watering equipment. We're doing Australia. Right, so at the top here, we have a high pressure pump that is sold over 6,000 times for $279. Let's take a look at that. Okay, this one's sold by Edison's. You can see they've sold 6,556 for $279. Let's go back to see what else we've got. It's worth mentioning as well with this item, let's just quickly jump back into it, that it's not actually branded. So if you scroll down here and take a look, it says brand, unbranded, and that's often a good opportunity for those who are importing, and you don't want to be held back by problem with brands. This is an unbranded item, and it's the top rating seller, so that's a good opportunity. Obviously, it's also good for those who are doing virtual inventory, i.e. drop shipping. Okay, let's take a look at the second one down. This looks like a solar powered water fountain of some description. Yeah. Okay, this one's selling for Oz Auction, another eBay mega store, for a more moderate price for those interested in lower priced items. Again, I'm pretty sure this is unbranded as well. Let's have a quick look. Yep, that's also unbranded for those who might be interested in importing. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so now we have two Protege pumps. Again, Edison's. So although it does say Protege in this listing, and they do have it stamped here, if we come and look down here at the item specifics, it does actually say unbranded, so that's worth noting. As opposed to one of the further ones down, which is a Giants, that is actually a properly branded item. We'll go have a look at that one next. This one sold 4,680 times. Let's go back to our results. Okay, so those are those two there, differing prices. Now these next two items are Giants, which is a brand, as some of you may be aware, belongs to Dropship Zone. hence why it's sold by Oz Plaza Living, being owned by Dropship Zone. So this one is sold for, 3,724 times for $59.95. So this is a lower price pump. Let's take a look at its sold history here. Okay, so if we scroll through, you can see it's consistently being sold for $59.95. Last one, 30th of March, which is today, of course. And we scroll and scroll and scroll. And scroll some more. And we're at the bottom, and we're still in March. So that one's selling really well. That would be 100 results, and we haven't even gone back into February yet. So that's a great item to consider. And then underneath, we have another one for Oz Plaza, and this is a higher ticket item. Also, 3,243 sold, so that's also doing really well. Okay, for this category, we're going to go into pet supplies. And this one, we'll just find it manually. It's easy to do. So pet supplies, and then child category. Under that will be dogs. And then we're going to look at cages. Click on that. It will bring up our search results. Now these results are only going to bring up results for eBay sellers here in Australia. And I think this is due to the size of the items. I'll also take note that the top, I think it's 4 sellers, are actually Oz Plaza, which is Dropship Zone. So they're monopolizing this area here for dog cages, crates / kennels. Okay, so as you can see, we're in the category of cages, and it has default, well, we're choosing this country. If you wanted to change it to, if you're in Canada, UK, or USA, you can change that there. Now, I do want to point out that the maximum results eBay is now allowing us to pull is 20. So we can't do more than that, unfortunately. However, hey, these are the top 20 sellers, so that should be what you're interested in. So let's have a look here. These 1, 2, 3, 4 are all, let's have a look, being sold by the eBay seller Oz Plaza, which is Dropship Zone. So this is something that can be sourced readily through Dropship Zone, obviously. And this has sold 3,199 times since the listing first came up. Let's have a look at the results that gives. Now, as you'll see, I think there is 100 listings, 100 results that it's showing, which is the majority is for March. So this is a really good seller. As you can see, we're scrolling, and still scrolling, and we're still, here we've come into Feb, and now we're at the end of the data eBay's giving us. So the last 6 are for February, so that means we have in March 94 of these dog kennel / cages have sold in varying sizes, which you can even collect that data. So that's a really great seller. Let's go back. Now let's just note that this is a multi-variation listing, and it is coming with either just the cage, or they're also offering with a cushion or with a cover. So they've got those different variables, as you can see here in the picture, cushion, cover. So that's a really great seller, and yeah, you guys, you can compete with Dropship Zone. So let's get rid of that and go back. So these other ones are the same, the exact same product. The only difference with this one here is it is only selling the 48-inch. So that's the extra large. That's why it's a higher amount here. Still a great seller, as you can see here with the data. Okay, let's look at some other things. Okay, so these are all with Plaza, and then we come down here. We have a higher ticket item, $346.95, and it's sold 866 times. It looks like a enclosure. Yep. This is being sold by Oz Auction for a whopping $346.95. And here you can click and see what their selling history is recently. Okay, so let's keep going. We've got, under that one, we have another enclosure. This one's being sold by Bargains Online for $257. And that is attracting a big postage fee. So for those who aren't worried or, intimidated by those larger items, there's some good options here. And we go down to something a little smaller again. Let's have a look at that one. This is selling for $29.90, and they've sold 586 of those. So yeah, there's some great opportunities in here. We've got another exercise little kennel run playpen. Let's have a look at this one. This one sold for $279, and that's also Bargains Online. So there you go. The whole pet category is always very hot. Apparently Australians are notorious for spending the most money on their pets of most first world countries in the world. So the whole pet category and its child categories and subcategories of that is always a good option to look at for research on what might be a good thing to sell on your eBay store. Okay, for this niche category, we're going to look at home organization, which is a child category found under cleaning and organization and home and garden. So we can just paste that category name in here and press enter. And here it is here. Click on that. And now we just wait while it brings up the data from eBay. Okay, so here we have our results. Now this niche category is a good example of some lower priced items because some of the other categories we're going through are pretty high ticket items. So for those people who are interested in importing or they're, a bit reluctant to touch a higher priced item, there's some good examples here. So let's start with the beginning. So we have these packing cube storage bags that have been sold. Click on the item ID. And there you can see it says it has sold 5,153 since they started selling. Now this is an MVL, only blue is left in stock. Now for those who are wondering, okay, it's great to see they've sold all these thousands, however, over what time period. So if you click here on the total numbers sold, it will actually give you can scroll down and it gives you the most recent data of how many of this item has sold. So you can then work out for yourself. As you can see, it's a lot. So that item's a pretty good seller. Click the back button. Okay, we're going to go back to our results. Okay, so now maybe a medium, higher ticket priced item, a little bit more meat on the bone. We've got these clear shoe storage boxes. Get away from like that. Okay, again, you can see the total amount sold on the listing here. If you want, you can click on that. And here is going to give the data of how many of those have sold. Now this varies from last 90 days, usually can be last 120 days. It can be less if the item is a really hot seller. Okay, so that's just one example of using, go up here, the niche category of home organization to look at possible ideas for what you could sell yourself if you're an importer or a drop shipper and holding virtual inventory. Both are applicable here. So this data is for picking the results for Australia. However, remember, people in first world countries tend to buy the same things all around. So even if you are in the US or the UK, Canada, for instance, you can use this data for items and sell it in your own country as well. Okay, let's have a look at the next niche item. Okay, for this final category, we're going to do health and beauty, which is here. We're going to go and type in the category number. Okay, so there we have health and beauty, and massage is the category, the niche category we're going to dive into. Enter, and then we just wait while it brings up our listings. Okay, so we've got the category of massage. We're doing Australia. Right away, let's look at the top item. It's sold 8,444 times in the time of its listing, and it is a jade facial massage roller. So that's a beauty item. Now this item is actually coming from the UK, as you can see here, selling for a really low price, $5.69, and it has had, as you can see, amazing sales. So if we scroll through quickly, last date of purchases today, 31st of March, and we're going down. Oh, there we go. And there we have, it's only the 13th of March. We haven't even broken out of the month of March yet. So great seller. This one could be really good for those who are importing. Small item, and looks like there's, a market here in Australia, and you can compete with these people from the UK. Let's have a look at another one. Okay, second one down has sold 7,741 times. This item is basically $46, $45.99 to be precise. And this is a massage tool of some description, massage wand. This is a great seller, selling here, and it's sold over 7,000 times, as we've said. Let's have a look what else we've got. Okay, this is some essential oil refill. We'll skip that. This is a TENS machine. Now we have another one of these. This time they're offering, let's get rid of that, different colors. So we've got white, black, violet, and pink. This is from Care Max AU. Slightly different version. This has got 30 modes than the one we looked at previously. So again, a great seller if you look here at the stats. Okay, let's look at some more. Okay, this is some oil. Now we have another massage gun of some description. Here we go. Seller's Supermarket BF, 4,740 sold. and it's selling for $59.99. Now, one thing we've mentioned in a previous video is you can use the eBay listing in reverse. It doesn't capture on the video, however, if you hover over these categories here and then cast your eye to the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you'll see the category number is listed by eBay. They have added, for some reason, some kind of BN number at the end, so just that's not the category number. The category number is before that. So let's say, for instance, we're hovering over health and beauty and cast our eye down. It says the category number is 26395. Or as you saw previously, I entered in 36447. That's the category number for massage. So if you're, going through eBay listings, doing some research, don't forget these categories up here are really helpful. And then you can go back to your eBay bestseller research function, go back to view categories, and you can punch in any category that you like. So we'll just look at one more item here in this particular area. Now again, we've got good old Oz Plaza Living, which is dropship zone, and they're selling this massage table, which is doing really well. 4,440 sold for just over $200. So we know where to source those from, our dropship users. So as you know, we support dropship zone, and it's also supported for supplier repricing. So yeah, that's just some ideas for you. Hope that was helpful. And that's the end of this video.